everyone. Thanks for joining me today. Happy Friday. And so I had a few questions on the yo-yo blanket, and I am completing it today. So in a little while, this afternoon later, I will show you it complete. However, I wanted to show you as work in process. Some questions were, why are you tie knotting just the center of the yo-yos? So as I was going along, I'm going to show you the very first thing I did was secure all the yo-yos by sewing the tie knot right smack in the middle. So this was the first thing that I did. That was the first thing that I did. Now what I'm doing is going back through and I am tie knotting each side. I'm doing row by row. So I'm coming up this way, so you'll see what happens inadvertently is that you get 4 tie knots on the edge of this will be tie knotted. Here, I'll do this one right now to just kind of take that thought home. You got to make sure everything's flat. So I'm tie knotting this, and as I do each yo-yo edge to edge, what happens is you end up with, automatically, you end up with 4 tie knots on the edge of the yo-yo, just as you would as if you were whip stitching. The only difference is you're not having to go over and over and over and then tie and tie a knot on the end of the string, this knot or thread. With this tie knotting style that I'm doing, you simply put the needle through and you pull it up and you tie a couple of knots and you're done. So it moves much quicker. And so the other question I had was, why am I putting a backing? So on this particular blanket, yeah, it is true, you do not have to put a backing, and many people traditionally don't. But the yo-yo was widely used and sewed more in the South, and with the Southern heat and whatnot, they really didn't need warm blankets. Now, being in the Northeast, you will see yo-yo sewed right onto like a blanket or a crocheted blanket even. It will be part of a design, if you will. But this is to give it warmth. And then the reason I chose this was to just give it some design. So this is almost done, and when it is, then I'll throw it up and down around, and you can see how it stays together so beautifully. But the other option is, besides doing these tie knots on the edges, then I can go back through and do a couple of more if I want to. So that's an option. And so when it's complete, I'm going to look at the whole thing. But having, when I tie knotted in the center, that was just the very first thing I did to lay my base. That way they weren't moving, and then I could come back through and connect them. So I hope that helps, and we'll see you in a little bit.